Big news for Detroit Lions fans. Every single player who was on the bubble for today's showdown against the Washington Commanders has officially suited up and is ready to roll. This is the kind of injury report update that can swing a game, and it's got fans on the edge of their seats wondering how it might play out on the field. But here's where it gets interesting. How these decisions affect the team's strategy could spark some heated debates among armchair coaches. Let's dive into the details and break it all down in a way that's easy to follow, even if you're new to the NFL's injury lingo. We're talking about those 5 players from Detroit's 53-man roster who were initially flagged as questionable, a term that basically means they're dealing with injuries, but there's still a shot they could play, depending on how they feel and what the medical team decides. Well, all of them have been cleared and are actively participating in this matchup. That impressive lineup includes left tackle Taylor Decker. Check out his profile, https://DetroitLions.com/players/roster Taylor Decker, who's been battling a persistent shoulder issue throughout the season. This setback kept him sidelined for a Week 5 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals and a Week 6 defeat to the Kansas City Chiefs. Today marks his 3rd consecutive start at left tackle since those games, which is a huge relief for the offensive line. Running back Craig Reynolds' profile, https://DetroitLions.com/players/roster Craig Reynolds, nursing a hamstring strain that could have limited his speed and explosiveness. Tackle Dan Skipper, profile, https://DetroitLions.com/Dan Skipper, who's been dealing with a back problem that might affect his ability to anchor the line. Linebacker Grant Stuard, profile, DetroitLions.com/team/player/roster, recovering from a foot injury that could impact his coverage and tackling. Safety Daniel Thomas, who's been battling forearm soreness that might have hindered his ability to make key interceptions or tackles. For those just getting into football, it's worth noting that Reynolds, Stuard, and Thomas aren't just backups. They're essential contributors on special teams, which are those high-stakes plays like kickoffs, punts, and field goals that can turn the tide of a close game. And this is the part most people miss. Having these guys healthy could mean the difference in those clutch moments, potentially boosting Detroit's chances against Washington. On the flip side, the Lions have had to make some tough calls, officially ruling out a few key players. Safety Kerby Joseph, profile.www.detroitlions.com/team/players/Kerby Joseph, an all-pro standout, is sidelined for the 3rd game in a row due to a knee injury that's been a lingering concern. Defensive lineman Pat O'Connor and running back Jacob Saylors were also scratched from Friday's injury report, meaning they'll sit this one out too. Joining them on the inactive list for today's game are safety Eric Hallett, defensive lineman Quinton Jefferson, and defensive lineman Mekhi Wingo. These absences create gaps in the defense and offense that the team will have to fill creatively, perhaps by relying more on depth players or adjusting tactics on the fly. But here's where it gets controversial. Is pushing players like Decker back into action too soon, risking long-term damage? Or is it a smart gamble for a season on the line? Some fans might argue that prioritizing short-term wins over player health could backfire in the playoffs, while others see it as a sign of toughness. And what about the inactive list? Do you think Washington's offense will exploit those missing defenders? Or will Detroit's remaining stars step up big time? To mix things up further, the Lions have made a savvy move by promoting offensive lineman Michael Neese from the practice squad, and he's officially active for this contest. For beginners, the practice squad is like a reserve team where players train and wait for their shot to shine. Neese stepping in could provide fresh energy on the line, showcasing how NFL teams adapt to injuries by drawing from their depth. Overall, this injury report paints a picture of resilience for the Lions. but it also raises questions about balancing risk and reward in professional sports. Do you think these activations give Detroit the edge they need to dominate the Commanders, or are the absences a recipe for trouble? And here's a thought-provoking angle. In an era where player rest and long-term health are hot topics, how do you feel about teams playing injured stars? Is it heroic or reckless? Drop your opinions in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think, whether you agree, disagree, or have a fresh take on it all.